Hi, I'm Eric Hawkins. This is Calvin Jones. We are 6 feet apart and we have masks on. Very responsible today. We are here to present to you the New and Blue Show, episode 6. So today we're going to talk about new tools like we always do and a few other fun things thrown in there. But Calvin, let's talk about new tools. I'm going to start with new bench mount repair stand, which is the PCS 12.2. So this would be a home mechanic work stand. Basically, you just bolt it to any flat surface. You can clamp it, but it's better if it's bolted, and it's modeled after our PCS 10.2. What is the blue pole there, Calvin?
Oh, the RPP, the repair stand protection pad, is for the professional stands, the PRS3, PRS2 only. It is pretty simple, but it's actually commonly needed in shops. Right. Common thing in the shop, lean the bike against the stand, against steel, ding!
Right.
But very importantly, also sliding. You put the customer's bike against the stand, you turn around, front wheel turns, the bike slides across the stand. So some stickiness there, some texture, just keeps it protected.
Mostly for professional shops that have the shop grade stands.
And to help protect the customer's bike.
Right. And then we have toolkits. 2 of them come in this box. The SK4, which is a home mechanic starter kit, which gives you a nice base to begin your tool collection with. Then the AK5, which is the advanced mechanic toolkit. It grows in size over the SK. And then we have our PK5, which is our professional level toolkit. It creates an unbelievable home workshop, or a lot of shops use that to outfit a bench. That's the PK5. Moving on from there, Calvin, we've got 3 boxes. And we've been working on these 3 boxes for quite a while. Lots and lots of detail in here. And we've fine-tuned these kits for months. So now we are finally ready to get these out into the world. These are bearing kits, and mostly bearing removal kits.
That's right.
So why don't you start with the 2 that you have down there?
Okay. Well, the suspension bearing kit, the SBK1, a lot of full suspension bikes, all full suspension bikes. Lots of pivots and bearings going on there. So we should have a look inside this fun set here. So what that's going to do is pull out those cartridge bearings and let you press in new ones. Okay, so here's an example here on the linkage. We have bearings that are in there. So the kit comes with a little cup extractor here, a push extractor, this shaft and this magnet retainer here. And that's going to successfully pull out the bearing. And then it will also push in a new bearing, and it is out. There it is. Then that will can be reversed and push in the new bearing, make your full sus nice and squishy, buttery smooth.
And that is the SBK1, which is a mostly suspension bearing sizes.
All sorts of different sizes.
Lots of sizes.
You bet.
Right.
Then, similar concept, the BBP AOS. This is an add-on set. This is using our installation tool, the BBP 1.2. But what it does, it lets us extract bearings in a couple of different ways. So with these extractors that go over the entire bearing unit, it will pull the whole thing out of the shell. All right, that can be good. The smaller ones, they will help you pull just the cartridge bearing out. Then you can replace it just with a new cartridge bearing.
In the bottom bracket.
In the bottom bracket, thank you. And also included, of course, the new dub standard is in here. We have to have that. So the drivers, the collets, and then where's the handle? It's part of
the BBP 1.2.
That's right.
So this is the add-on set, the AOS. And then you can buy the 2 together as a BBP 2 if you already own a BBP 1 or a 1.2.
Shops, if you own a BBP 1.2, get just this add-on.
Add-on set, right.
Your new shop, you get the two, and you get both of them together.
Right. This is a slide hammer, which a lot of people are familiar with in concept, but tell everybody what's different about this one.
Well, lots of different collet sizes that expand. So there's teeny tiny bearings here. This tightens up, those expand, and then we pull it straight with a lot of force, a lot of fun, and that thing comes right on out.
Right, so we have 6 different size collets, and they're adjustable.
That's right.
Within that range.
Because there are some bearings that you can't get behind a push. So sometimes manufacturers don't have the right serviceability. Just let you get in there and get them out.
So we're giving you a way to extract just about any bearing.
Yep.
This would be the fallback. If you can't use one of the presses to pull it out slowly, you can use a slide hammer.
Excellent supplement for both the suspension and the bottom bracket set.
Right. All right, we are working on a lot of new products. We will have more to bring to you in the next few months, but that's it for right now on our new products. So I want to talk about the community grant program. So every year we give away 10 toolkits to worthy nonprofits, community organizations, people who work on bikes and give back to their communities. You can apply for one of our 10 grants at parktool.com/blog, and that will be the first story that comes up. And so the application is right on there. This is not for teams, this is not for clubs, this is for people who are doing work for their community with bicycles, and we're proud to be able to give to these people. There is one extra award called the President's Choice Award, which I get to pick, and they will get even more than the selection of the other 10 people get. And the 10 winners will get 2 repair stands, a PK5 toolkit, and some other goodies so that they can work on bikes. So now Calvin and we took a field trip downstairs to the workshop. And to continue on with our look back into the past of Park Tool and some of the tools that we used to make, or early versions of things that we make currently. Today we're going to look at some tools that we don't make anymore that you might not be able to figure out until we tell you. So we're going to start out with some brake tools. So this, how is that a brake tool, Calvin? Show us.
We used to have to put together a lot of bikes. They didn't come out of the box ready to go. So the brake levers were off, the bar tape is off, these clicks on the top of the drop bars, comes down, you run your lever up, tighten it down, fantastic.
Right, because they got to be right at the right level, and otherwise you're just eyeballing it.
Yep, so then the lever would have to go on next, and these would often be flattened first, Chief.
Right, because they just took a power screwdriver and they sucked that down, and this clamp here was never round.
But how can we make that round?
Let's make it round.
With
this is the BCE2. Brake clamp expander. Right, so basically you would stick this in and squeeze it.
Rounds it out.
Makes it round.
And then we're saving valuable seconds. Now we're sliding it on and up.
Yep.
How high do I go? I know, I go right here and then tighten it down. And this is the fun little part here. This is a SD1. SD?
Screwdriver.
You bet. Now what's fun about this one is that hollow ground tip. Right, it's good to get a lot of pressure on these. Crank these down, and then, of course, we'd have to install the dreaded
safety lever.
Safety in quotes, the brake lever extension. So in the back room, they weren't always so nice.
So the idea was you had 2 positions for your brakes, right here or right here, but these were always so squishy that they really didn't stop you. So there wasn't a lot of safety involved, let's say that.
Then wrap the bars, put cables on.
So all these things kind of seem like, what, really you had to do that? But they all saved you time.
You bet.
It was all about time. And we as former Schwinn dealers, like Calvin said, we get this in a box and it was in pieces.
Yep.
Today's bikes come 90% assembled.
They have it so easy these days.
Right. Okay, so this tool right here,
Well, that's a fun one.
that is a fun one. And we made this for many years, and it was specific to Schwinn bicycles. And this is a kickstand tool. So Calvin's going to show you how that works.
This is one tool that it's really hard to fake. So the nice Schwinn kickstands here, welded on bracket. So that comes down under spring pressure, goes back up.
That was a proprietary Schwinn kickstand.
Yeah, you bet. So this fun thing, this goes on the back of the bracket. It's going to push this plate in and relieve the spring pressure, because we've got to get this pin out,
Right.
this little nail head. It ain't coming out if you don't have this tool. So then we go here, then we can come depress, plunge that back, and then out comes the pin.
In theory.
In theory, which is why we use our modern LP, lineman pliers.
Right.
So,
Actually a lot of spring pressure in there.
which is what made that a good kickstand, because they did not flop down. Yep.
There it
there's
is.
Our pin.
And now you can take this out, and you see the spring there? There's actually a little piece in there that gave it the two positions, up or down.
You can put some grease in it, some PPL, or some
And
high
this one needs some grease.
performance.
This is a 1968 apple crate, just in case you're interested.
Right. Reverse the process to go back in. That
Right.
was some fun.
Right. All right.
Wow.
So then Calvin's going to turn the stand around, and we're going to talk about the CR1 crank cotter remover. And why do you need a remover, Calvin?
Well,
Go ahead.
these are kind of a pain. So this pin is pressed in, and it is pressed in tight.
Right.
So at first people see this little nut. Here's your cotter pin. Oh, you just tighten the nut. That does not pull the pin in. It's simply a retention nut. We shove that cotter pin in.
Right. So these tools both push them in and push them out, which in the end was very important as well.
Oh, yeah.
Just to give you a little history on this was the first one, and it's just made as a stamping, and then one threaded piece, one non-threaded piece welded on. But I don't know if you can see that. You see how that's not straight? That's what was happening with the first ones. So, in their wisdom, early on in the Park Tool days, they took two of them and welded them together.
Twice as good.
Twice as good, twice as strong. We eventually went to a big, heavy steel sand casting, and then one end was threaded and one end is not. So that's really the one to use. It's a much better tool.
That's right. So a couple things here. So the nut's got to come off, the washer's got to come off, and we can see the spoke ruler still is a cotter pin test. Oh, this pin, it is a 9.5.
Right, because they're different sizes.
So this is not unlike the bottom bracket standards. How nice, different standards.
Right.
So then the press would go like this on top of the bolt, and then run
Then
that
you press it
down.
out.
Down, 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 and push it. And also notice the fine thread to give you a lot of pressure. Then it would
And a
come
lot
out.
of these were really stuck because people would hammer them in,
Oh,
so it
boy.
would get mushroom out on the end.
Yep, and
Where
then-
did we get this bike?
This bike is a good example of why this was dropped. This came from a barn in Wisconsin. We had
Wow.
to ask around and dig around.
Still has barn dirt on it.
You bet. Why did they get rid of this tool? Well, not needed
Right.
so
It's
much.
just not used anymore.
But this one, remember, this was once in the Tour de France, cottered cranks.
Cottered cranks. And
bet.
if you remember, then we went to cotterless crank.
Oh, don't we make a cotterless crank
Cotterless crank
extractor?
puller, right. So that was the move from here to the cotterless crank.
That's
With
right.
basically a three-piece bottom bracket.
Right.
All right, now we're heading over to the bench.
Come on.
In the glory days of Schwinn, they sold a lot of Stingrays. And Stingrays came with a banana seat. And this is a tool that my father and his partner Art Engstrom made early on. I really don't know how many they made or if it ever really caught on. But there was always a problem because you get the seat and then you'd get this strut. And this strut had to get bolted onto here. And again, you think, well, how can that be that difficult? But these came and they were kind of squeezed in, and it was hard to get it on here and get it straight and get the bolts in. So this is simply a seat holder.
It's a fixture tool, not unlike the wheel holder.
Right.
Have things held firm, it frees up your hands.
Because
Boom,
you
you're
needed
done.
2 hands to do this.
Yep.
Otherwise, you're holding this between your knees and trying to get one bolt started and then bending things around.
And then you can see it right, the result here.
Right here.
There we are. And of course, you're early.
Suspension.
You bet.
Right.
Cushy.
Yeah, it's very nice. Very nice, along with the front suspension.
Front suspension.
So all these things save time, save a little bit of time. That's what it was all about. You're putting together bikes.
All day long.
All day long, you're fixing bikes.
Yep.
Little bit.
Adds up.
Little bit of time here and there, it really adds up.
You bet.
All right, so there you have it. Another history lesson in Park Tool early day tools. And now we're gonna head back upstairs. And we're back. And as you can see, we're smiling because we like to do that. A couple of things before we go. We love to see projects you're working on. We love you to see tools you have and how you use them. And if you could use the hashtag #WrenchFromHome on our Instagram, that would be great. And also, we love to see your home workshop setups. And that is hashtag #UltimateBlueToolWall. But we like to see what you're doing at home, especially during these interesting times where a lot of people are home more than usual. It's great to see. So that's it for episode 6 of the New in Blue show. For Calvin Jones, I'm Eric Hawkins, and we'll see you next time.
Keep wrenching.